Welcome back! It's been a long time since we've done this. It's been exactly 2 years. Within this year alone, the channel has done amazingly well. Fantastic. Thank you so much for everything. And now it's the end of the year, so I just kind of want to wrap things up by saying it was my favorite episodes for the year. Once again, I haven't seen every episode in the world, nor have I seen every show that came out this year. I'm sure there's plenty I've missed, but the ones I've actually watched, I want to just take a step back and just appreciate what I've actually watched and consumed, because some of it is just genuinely good. So without any further ado, let's get to it. And for the number 10 slot, we go with Boba Fett, Chapter 6. Now I know what you're thinking. It's not Endor. Endor is good. Some things I don't like about it, some things I think it's good about it, but ultimately speaking, I think this episode is the best episode from Star Wars shows for the entire year. The Book of Boba Fett itself, not so much, but I do love this chapter in the Star Wars saga. I do like the fact that we do get to see characters from old periods of Star Wars to actually interact with one another. I do like how we get to see the temple of the Jedi's being built. And even bringing in Bane at the end. I think that's a lot of fun. And I think these little interactions, these little moments are phenomenal. And seeing how Mandor is being shaped by the absence of Grogu means a lot. I think it really does a phenomenal job of telling an emotional story, even if it does seem discombobulated with the whole show itself, since it is not about Mandalorians. But I do think it is a good chapter in the Star Wars saga. And for the 9th place goes to House of the Dragon for The Lord of Tides. The reason I picked this one is because I love everything building up to the king's death. It's been shown from previous episodes, but his big moments before he leaves is fantastic. His entrance, absolutely fantastic. Tension building up in the family is shown to its finest point. Having them even sit down in the same room, it's so interesting because of all the tension and subtext that's behind the scenes. It's really well crafted. The production style of it, holy crud. It's phenomenal. It's just as good as it was in Game of Thrones. And I have to give credit where credit is due. My only real problem with the episode is how the decapitation scene goes. Mostly because I know that's not how decapitations work. Shock and horror, nah, doesn't interest me. The tension and build-up, that interests me. That's impressive.
I said I'm fine. Come on.
And for 8th place goes to My Hero Academia, Bakugo Rising. So, why do I pick this episode? Simple. Throughout the episode, Kanchan revisits the past about his relationship with Deku. Old for the point of building up to him actually taking the same sacrifice that Deku once did for him. Just keep running with his legs in the face of danger, even if it means costing him a limb or two. Seeing history repeat itself, it's just a very cathartic moment. Seeing Deku get even more pumped and serious in the fight is also absolutely amazing. Shigaraki being basically what Deku once was, having all this power within the frail body. The symmetry is just there on the wall, and it's fantastic. As well as seeing Eraserhead be so rational to cut out his own way, continue having his powers, so he can keep on the fight. And even Shigaraki even going as far as complimenting him for saying,
Clean cut. You're such a bad eraser.
7 on the list is Owl House Hollow Mines. This episode is simply a mind trip. The episode follows the idea that both Hunter and Luce are trapped in the Emperor's mind. And within the Emperor's mind, they see how the Emperor came to power, how he used deception into power, how Hunter struggles to deal with something like that. And we slowly but surely see that crumbling down in the most tragic way possible. And it is heartbreaking. With the dramatic irony being revealed that the little boy that they followed wasn't just the innocent side of the Emperor, but actually the Emperor himself. And from this point, we see it revealed that Hunter is actually a former person and a Grimwalker, essentially a clone of the original model, while at the same time, we see Luce be confronted with reality that the Emperor was actually filler the whole time. Once then we see the devastation that this all brings, and the final note of tension, suspense is quite honestly the best work they've done. It's perfect.
Bruce, what did you see?
And number 5 goes to Stranger Things, the massacre at Hawkins' lab. Okay, so why is this a good episode? Simple. Everything from all the plots tie up together into a beautiful knot. We have the prison battle between the Demogorgon and the prisoners. We have David and Joy finally getting together. We're finally having a Catholic moment there. Hopefully I'm pronouncing cathartic right. Aristotle's probably rolling in his grave. As well as the fact that we have the conclusion of Elle's arc, where we finally discover how things came to be and discovered that the person that helped her was actually the original number 1 himself, as well as bringing in Dustin as well as Steve and Nancy's arc being intertwined together, revealing that, ultimately speaking, number 1 is Vecna the whole time, and the tension keeps rising. The stakes get even closer and closer. With that reveal changes everything. Seeing how all the threads and all the situations that we've seen prior were all building up to him. Alright, for number 5 goes to This Is Us, The Train. So, I have to say it, I'm a sucker for goodbyes. This is the big bow that ties the entire show together. It is the big send-off for the main character, the character that glues all the storylines together, Rebecca. And the way to do it is perfect. Having her visualize her passing as a train, with something as a fond memory, and having every moment with every person in her life that she cares about being on that train that she can have one last hurrah with. It's the moment that the whole show has been building up to, and it's a very emotional, cathartic nature to itself.
Hey.
For number 4 goes to Legends of Vox Machina. Episode 11? And does it have a name to itself? Okay, it's Whispers of the Ziggurat. This episode is full of action. Every character gets something to do. It has emotional drive and backbone to itself. It is great animation coming from the West. It still knows how to play around with itself, level up its stakes while still having its comedy and one not taking over the other. And it leaves on a great final note for the episode to finish off and leave us in dramatic suspense. Okay, number 3 goes to Attack on Titans, from you 2,000 years ago. This is probably what people have been waiting for the longest, just to hear him say it, and it goes off spectacularly. Seeing how Amir became the Amir, and how the Titans became Titans, and how this whole thing started, and seeing just the rumbling finally happen, to see the rumbling happen, to see it develop. That's what people have been waiting for this whole time. What's worse is that Arvin is so convinced that this is for the good, that Eren is still doing the good. Ultimately, that kind of blows up in his face when he hears his own declaration.
The Titans of the Walls will continue their march until every trace of life beyond our shores is trampled flat, and the people of Paradis are all that remains of humanity.
It's heartbreaking. I'm rooting for Eren to do the good thing and not kill the entire race of humanity. I'm still looking for a happy ending, and I hope I get it. Number 2 goes to Amphibia for Hardest Thing. I'm a sucker for goodbye episodes. It's the finale of the entire show. It's wrapping everything up, and we get to see it go off spectacularly. To see where everyone goes to, and everyone's career paths, and how everyone is doing. We get to see touching goodbyes, and I think the most importantly is the free choices that Anne makes. Anne sacrificing herself, and turning down deity status, and her becoming humble and working with frogs for a living. A nice little keepsake to remind her that these adventures have shaped her life, and I think that's just a great way to cap off this series. Okay, so number 1. Wait for it. Is it going to be obvious? No? Oh, it's going to be obvious, believe me. It is Demon Slayer, episode 10. How can this not be number 1? The action is phenomenal. The animation is phenomenal. The devotion, the build-up is intense. It is crazy. It is just exactly what you want. The toying around with Tanjiro just so you can get that sweeping moment, that final last stand. It is absolutely on your feet entertainment. Every toss, every swing, every shake, every twist. It is pulsing with just absolute awesomeness, and you can't look away because you want to be there with them on the good fight. That is exactly what you want your audience to react to when you see that kind of fight and that kind of level of awesomeness. So congratulations, Demon Slayer. You are by far the best this year has to offer. Congrats.